I wanted to talk about what's been happening at the legislature this week, and again, focusing on sort of the disrespect. So there have been tremendous attacks against LGBTQ plus Oklahomans. 3 bills made it through, and Senate Bill 2, 9, and 1100. These do a variety of things. I think one's a transgender women's sports ban, which, interestingly enough, the governor of Utah just vetoed one very similar to it. Stitt is expected to sign it, of course, if it makes it through. But also, just there's a lot of, it's just culture war stuff without any concern around like actually solving a problem or the harm it does to these communities. And so it's extremely disrespectful in many of our books. Thoughts, reactions on that?
Yeah, it's one of those things that, we've kind of seen coming, just picking sort of arbitrary fights with the trans community about what you're going to allow them to do and what you're not going to allow them to do. And all of this does is send a clear message that Oklahoma legislature does not care about the well-being of trans kids. Being able to participate in sports is a natural right that any student should be able to use, no matter what their background or anything. And we talk a lot, Stitt talks a lot about parents' choice. But what if you are a parent with a trans kid who wants to play sports and now you're not allowed to do that because the government said so? It's just sending all the wrong type of messages to all of the kids in our state, and it's incredibly disheartening.
It's just really frustrating because, I'm a mom, and if my child were to ever grow up and be like, hey, Mom, I'm trans and I want to play basketball, like, who am I to say that you don't have the right to do that? Who the fuck are y'all to say my child doesn't have the right to do that?
Yeah.
Like, these kind of bills, especially when we are targeting youth, really just inflame me because y'all are attacking children. You talk about how you're pro-life and all this stuff and save the children and all of these things, but you're literally attacking children.
Yeah. So, we'll keep an eye on these, but, the expectation is that Stitt would absolutely sign something like this just to appeal to, like, the worst parts of the base. And, again, going back to the theme of disrespect, like, that is, extremely disrespectful to that community, to those kids. And I've got up the letter that the governor of Utah sent out with his veto. I guarantee you these numbers probably are, very similar to Oklahoma's. Utah's kind of a similar sized state. It is such a tiny fraction of a percentage of kids playing sports. And then you look at like the harm rates of those communities. And it's the worst form of punching down at the most vulnerable. It's just bullying, which, again, relates to what we're going to see in the pictures and videos.
Not to mention, trans women already have incredibly short lifespans. Like, the typical age that a trans woman lives to is like 36 or 38. Like, that is just terrible. That's egregiously low. Like, how are we going to continue making this group of people feel like they absolutely do not matter and nobody in the world is going to stick up for them?
They're being murdered at record numbers, committing suicide at higher rates, and it's just like like Nick said, it's punching down on like one of the most marginalized communities. It's so disgusting.
All intentional.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's scoring political points. You're using these communities to score political points, and that's just disgusting. Here, I was trying to pull up real quick what the bills are specifically, since one that would prohibit transgender students from playing in sports consistent with their gender identity. One that would expand the definition of obscene materials to target the LGBTQ plus community. So, that's like a basic free speech issue. And then Senate Bill 1100, a bill that would eliminate inclusive gender markers on official documents. So it's like the state literally wants to police, what you want to put on your birth certificate and stuff. So, these are just, and I think like there was another article last week that said it was like 100 people in the state have desire to do that. It's like, let them be. Like, it's just, this isn't hurting anyone. It's just culture war bullshit, and, that's what we do. Thanks for watching our video. Please give it a like and hit that subscribe button for more content. If you want to engage with us, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram.